Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Welcome back to the video. It is a very foggy morning out here in Staten Island, and I am drinking some Snow Leopard from the coffee grinder slash brewer Equator from Cometeer. Delicious blend, wonderful way to start the day. Today, we're going to talk about FPV once again, because today is new goggle day. Not just new goggle day, it's new VTX and video system day. Kind of out of nowhere, Fat Shark this week was teasing something about a new set of goggles, that the Dominator system was back. And earlier this morning, down at Rotor Riot Rampage, they unveiled the new Dominator FSV 1125 goggle and their new HD VTX. So today we're going to talk about this new system because I think it's very interesting, very different, worth taking a look at, and I want to share my personal feelings as well as what I think or who makes a good buyer for this system, in addition to who I think the mysterious partner is behind this digital system. Let's start out talking about the system itself. Pretty basic. It's 60 frames per second, or sorry, 120 frames per second. At 1080p HD, it is a variable latency like DJI. While the specs and look of this system are very reminiscent of DJI, this is not a DJI system or a product, according to Fat Shark. This is also not an HD0 system. This is not an Orca digital HD system. This is its own brand new thing, requires its own VTX, and works only with its own goggles. So this is a closed, right now, proprietary system that only works with these Fat Shark goggles and then the HD Dominator VTX. The specs of the goggles are pretty standard of what you'd expect from a top tier goggle. OLED screens, 1080p, only 90 frames per second display rate, so that 120 frames per second transmission would just be scaled down to 90 frames per second. But if VR is any indication, 90 frames per second is about perfect for any kind of immersive on your face display. So goggles look great. They have the power button, great optical adjustment with the standard diopter, focus, and width that you'd expect from Fat Shark. I think the system looks extremely compelling. I think the image quality that they've shown so far is excellent. It does seem like they have, according to Joshua Bardwell's video and some of the other content around it, it does seem like there are still some last minute tweaks and some firmware stuff they need to work out, but the product doesn't launch until July, so they've got June. They've got plenty of time to work out these bugs, and I do have faith that Fat Shark will launch a complete, functional, mostly bug-free system. As for the system itself, me personally, I currently rock the DJI system and a set of HDO2 analog goggles. And while I would love a better screen in those DJI systems or a digital system in my Fat Shark goggles, I'm not ready to jump into a new system yet, just because I have a lot of quads and they all have their air unit and camera and the rest of that. And so replacing 5-6 VTXs and replacing 5-6 cameras and adding another goggle to my current lineup, not something I'm looking to do right now. Well, I'm not ready to jump into this system yet. I do think it is a great system for somebody who has never invested into a digital system. Somebody who's maybe waiting to see what Orca was gonna launch, or see how HD0 matured, or just didn't want a DJI product. This may be a good option. I think the quality is excellent. Fat Shark has a good history of customer support and service, and I think you can be pretty comfortable in that when that thing launches, it will be ready for prime time. The firmware will be solid, video transmission will be solid, range seems pretty good, comparable to DJI, and a lot of the features that DJI pilots have been begging for have been addressed. If you're a racer, I would probably say wait. This system has yet to be proven on a racetrack, and so I do think if your primary focus for flying FPV is racing, this may not be the system for you, and I would probably look towards HD0 first. And that's just, again, I think the use point for this is really coming for people who would have bought or have bought into DJI and want that crystal clear video for exploration, proximity flying, freestyle, and I think those people will be very happy with what Fat Shark is launching. This system has yet to be proven on a racetrack, and so I do think if your primary focus for flying FPV is racing, this may not be the system for you, and I would probably look towards HD0 first. And that's just, again, I think the use point for this is really coming for people who would have bought or have bought into DJI and want that crystal clear video for exploration, proximity flying, freestyle, and I think those people will be very happy with what Fat Shark is launching. Last, but certainly not least, let's enter the speculation zone. And I think this was the most interesting part of the whole announcement so far, was the interview Joshua Bardwell did with Fat Shark, where they talked about the VTX, talked about this video system, and talked about the mysterious partner that is helping Fat Shark develop this system. They said it was a third-party system, or third system overall, not HD0, not DJI. And I'm guessing it's not Orca, because I think they probably would have said if this was the Orca HD system. And in that interview, they were pretty clear that this is a system being developed by a company that is a good steward, a good, well-known company inside the FPV market. That is a specific FPV company. So I got thinking, especially after, towards the end of the video, Joshua Bardwell made the assertion that in the VTX, the DVR files said Avatar. And there have been a lot of recent leaks around DJI and the Avata product. And that brings me around to Cadex. I really think that this camera collab, this partner, is Cadex. The reason why I think it's Cadex is they are well known for their current partnership with DJI to produce air units and cameras for the current system. I think there's a little bit of poison around the DJI brand right now because, again, some of their practices aren't great. They had the recent leak about how the aeroscope stuff wasn't encrypted. There's been a lot of weird mistakes. And I don't think DJI really wants to be directly involved in FPV. But their tech is really good, and it's one of the few variable latency systems that's out there right now. And we know from the Mavic 3 and the DJI Mini that it is capable of 1080p with a high frame rate and low latency. Between the leaks of the Avata system and the DVR recordings being labeled Avatar, I think that link, the fact that Cadex and DJI have worked in the past before on other projects involving FPV, the fact that Cadex is a fairly good standing member in the FPV community, all this to me points towards this system being a collab between DJI and Cadex. And I think that's okay. I think the tech inside DJI stuff is really, really good. Very much love their goggles, and I think they are some of the best ways to enjoy FPV if you're not racing FPV. It gives you good clear view, it gives sharp image quality, and overall I think the latency and link system is excellent, especially for freestyle, cruising, long range, the whole 9 yards. I know that's not going to appeal to everyone because there are a lot of people out there who really don't like DJI and its practices, and I think that may be an impediment to the system actually hooking in. My personal opinion on the whole system, the whole announcement is I'm very excited. It's a new FPV system. It looks gorgeous. I think it's gonna provide some excellent goggles and an excellent video transmission system. Obviously, as I said before, I'm not immediately jumping out, buying new goggles, buying new VTXs and filling all my quads with them, because I wanna wait and see a little bit, because with any proprietary system, I don't wanna get locked into another one. But yeah, with all that said, let me know what you thought of the announcement. Let me know what you think of my take. Let me know what systems you're currently using and if you're gonna jump to DJI. As always, thank you for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.